How's it going, my lovely Death Disciples? I am the Shattered Reaper, and I'm a little bit tired. I apologize. But it was for classes, but this class apparently wasn't available today. We'll be on Thursday, but I guess we're not meeting this morning, but it will be for the next morning, so I don't know. I'm just tired as all I know. And anyway, so we are now continuing the life and suffering of Sir Brante, where last we left off, well, a lot of things went down. So we failed in our being a proper spy network, and we did not do a very good job. We surrendered to Felipe, and in return, he let us live, but at the same time, he also kind of wrecked our family. He beat up Nathan, burned our estate, and our reputation got tarnished because of his actions. And yeah, things did not really go well. And we're also kind of on our last life, so that's even worse. So we only have one more chance. So I think it's confirming my idea where I think I'm just going to do another playthrough of the game and try to make some different decisions here and there. But with that out of the way, let's just continue from here. Rumors are running wild in Anizote. People say that a mysterious clandestine society called the Last Straw holds the entirety of the city's seedy underbelly in its clutches, with men in safe houses all over Anizote, plotting and scheming against the nobles and the rulers of the province. Their leader is a woman, a ruthless criminal by the name of Sophia. She has evaded all attempts at capture. The common people both fear the last straw and sympathize with their cause. If the rumors are true, the city finally has someone who will stop at nothing to help people claim their rights. But who would support this secret organization? And how did the insurgents manage to survive this long? No one in the city knows the answers. Magistrate El Vermin must massage the people's fears once again. The vile mutineers and heretics who call themselves the Last Straw will be caught and executed very soon, and anyone who is given them money and shelter will meet the same fate. The secret chancellery will make sure of that. But even facing a manhunt, the Last Straw still endures. Slowly but surely, the influence of this underground organization is spreading throughout the city. More unrest, more power though, and the wealth of Magra's misery and devastation. The hard goodbye. Night falls upon the city, shrouding it in darkness and dotting the sky with stars. The din of the streets dies down slowly. Soon the heavy footfalls of gendarme patrols is the only sound. You are at the print shop, tying up the day's loose ends. There's a sudden knock at the door. Sophia walks in without a word, holding a half-empty bag. She heads to the room containing the shop's records. Somewhere in there, under piles of paperwork, is a crate with her things in it. Sophia pushes the papers aside and starts shoving her things into the bag. She barely looks at what she is doing. What is going on? She freezes as though noticing you for the first time. Then she pulls up a chair, sitting down, and lights her pipe. I was with Felipe just now. I'm leaving. For a long time. Could be a whole year. Gotta recruit pissed off people for the Last Straw from all over Magra. He thinks we've already found everybody here in Anizote. Is she going alone? Sophia nods, exhaling smoke. Yep, Felipe's orders. Says it's safer that way. He needs you here. Her eyes are trained on you. You notice yellow eyes glimmering deep within them. Even without the underground movement, Sophia is just as dangerous on her own, and Felipe actually thinks she is going to recruit hundreds more people to die for his scheme. Sophia puffs out ring after ring. They slowly dissolve in the air, filling the room with acrid smoke. There's no hiding from her light blue eyes. A gentle smile plays on her lips. Just don't botch the whole thing while I'm gone, okay, Brante? Well, I mean, that may have already failed, but okay, I'll try. You nod. An awkward silence follows. Deep inside Sophia's pipe, a red spark flares back to life again. She knew you would be at the print shop alone tonight. Did she really come here just to tell you this? She does not look away. I can only wish her a safe journey. Confess my love? Yeah, that definitely isn't happening. Tell her how you feel. Promise to protect her. Okay, so I'm not merciless, but yeah, our relations are not that great. Yeah. Wish her a safe journey. You look Sophia in the eye and wish her good luck and safe travels. There's plenty of danger on the road in Magra, especially now, in these troubled times, but you are confident that Sophia will survive and thrive no matter where she goes. She nods and looks away. Yeah, you're right. I'll be okay. You better be okay too, Volker. I can't help you anymore. From now on, you're on your own. Be careful who you trust, and don't get yourself caught. Sophia stands up, slings her bag over her shoulder, and hands you a sheath. It contains a misericord, a long, slender dagger. You accept the parting gift. A moment later, the door closes quietly behind her. Only then do you realize that she was waiting for something from you. Something more than just a few kind words and a good luck wish. But Sophia is gone now. The moment has passed. You are alone. The last straw rests solely on your shoulders now. And she dislikes me more, but I get more willpower, hooray. As if I need more. The unrest in Magra is growing by the day. More and more commoners flock to the streets and squares, trying to make their voices heard by the nobility. The crowds have become too large for the gendarmes to disperse. They can no longer be ignored. For the first time in years, the ruling estate seems to have seen the people for the terrifying power they represent, and they have decided to fight fire with fire. In spite of all the resistance offered by Prefect Elborn and the Lesser Quorum, the magistrate and the aristocracy finally get their way. Overseer Tempest deploys troops in the city. The streets and squares are packed on this ill-fated day. Hidden in the crowd, you watch 2 battalions of the Imperial Legion march triumphantly down the streets of Anizote. The banners of Magra and the Tempest dynasty soar proudly above the soldiers' heads. Gaius Tempest leads the battalions himself atop a white Monian stallion. To his right, you see the young captain of the battalion. He looks familiar. It is Thomas Guerra. When the procession reaches the Golden Square, it stops so the overseer can address the people. Battalions, defensive formation! The Legion soldiers spring into action, slamming their weapons against their shields as they move. Their ranks shift in eerie harmony down to the last man, like an enormous, uncanny machine, and then they all stop at once in an instant. The square grows silent. The overseer's booming voice echoes for all to hear. People of Anizote, I have heard your cry for help, and come to the city accompanied by my loyal soldiers. The Imperial Legion will bring order to Anizote and put an end to all riots and crime. These soldiers will protect you from the schemes of rebellious nobles, insidious insurgents, and anyone else who seeks to spark unrest. I am Gaius Tempest, the overseer of Magra and Anizote. By the Emperor's decree, I rule this land. Those who question my rule question the Emperor's rule as well, and they will be executed as rebels and insurrectionists. You hear whispers throughout the square. The Legion's arrival is a harbinger of change. But how drastic will this change be? Even at home, the Legion is the only topic of conversation during dinner. I think the twins Gaius Tempest has finally decided to act. Those low-born scum have grown far too insolent of late. They ought to be reminded of their place with an iron fist. Intimidating the people won't do anyone any good, Stefan. They have valid reasons to take to the streets, but instead of hearing them out, the overseer is hiding behind his soldiers. It's disgusting. I think Gloria is right. Everyone's really scared. A lot of my friends want the Legion to leave the city too. Those friends of yours know nothing, Nathan. Their lot is to work and suffer, not wag their tongues. Oh, we're so sorry, Sir Stephen. We forgot that only blue bloods can rule. Too bad all that inbreeding hasn't made them any smarter.
Enough bickering, you two. You clearly don't understand what's going on here. The purpose of the Overseer's move is first and foremost to thwart the plot against him and set in motion by Archduke Milanidis' loyal clique of nobles. The commoners are a secondary matter. By the way, Volker, I've heard the battalion is being led by an old schoolmate of yours. He hasn't told you anything about what Gaius Tempest is up to, has he? You have not seen Thomas in a long time. He's not told you anything. That's too bad. Oh well, I suppose time will tell.
Whatever the reason, the Legion is here in Anizote, and it is a force that must be reckoned with. And as luck would have it, Thomas is in command of it. Is there any way for you to turn this situation to the last straw's advantage? Cite the common people to right against them, convince Thomas to cooperate, use Thomas. You ask him to violate his order and let the people protest despite the risk of incurring the Overseer's wrath. You were prepared to give Thomas the names of the commoners inciting unrest in the city. In exchange, you will recruit several Legion officers as secret chancellery informants. Denounce the rebellious nobles to Thomas. Doors on dishonored. Has not happened, unfortunately, but I'm gonna convince Thomas to cooperate. Thomas and his soldiers are just the tool you need to rein the people in, and Legion officers would make perfect informants. This is a priceless opportunity to recruit them for a song. You could certainly use some eyes and ears among the Overseer's pet soldiers. You and Thomas have known each other ever since you were boys. You used to play on these very streets, pretending to be heroes of old, fighting the great battles of the past. Now Thomas commands the Legion soldiers sent to Anizote to quash the unrest, and you command the last straw and have spent several years preparing for the city for a full-scale riot. But even with the Overseer's orders looming over him, Thomas still loves his hometown and feels for its people. You will have to convince him how dangerous it has become since the days of your youth. There it is. The ruins of Charm Milanidis' palace. The remains of your childhood fort still stand among the crumbling stonework. Thomas arrives alone, without any soldiers to guard him. He wears a suit of armor and the vibrant cloak of a commanding officer, a sword by his side. His shoulders have grown even broader and he treads firmly. You spot a few early gray threads in his hair.
Hello, Volker. Good to see you.
You shake your old friend's hand and congratulate him on his promotion.
Oh, it's nothing. But that was a good idea, meeting here like this. And look, there's our old fort. Can you believe it's still here after all these years? Feels like a dream whenever I'm back in Anizote. So much has happened. I've become a nobleman, joined the Legion, got promoted to captain. But everything here is still just as it was. Even those old wooden planks we lugged all the way here are still standing. You interrupt Thomas's reminiscences. This is no time for nostalgia. You have something important to discuss. Thomas's face grows serious. I'm listening, Volker. This is not about you, you explain. It is about your city. Why did Gaius Tempest send Thomas and the Legion to Anizote? To subdue the unruly mobs and maintain order in the city, right? Right. But I'll be honest with you, Brante. I think the Overseer is being too harsh. We didn't exactly get a warm welcome, but I wouldn't be too happy either if I was one of them.
Thomas could not be any more wrong, you explain. The Legion came here for a very good reason. Anizote is swarming with scheming nobles, rioting commoners and insurgents lurking in the shadows. Someone has to do something about it. Thomas recoils as though he has been kicked in the gut.
What are you saying, Volker? How do you even know all this?
You tell him the truth. You are an agent of the secret chancellery, working for the good of the Empire. Thomas responds with a chuckle at first, but when he sees you are serious, his smile fades.
I'll be. Who knew this is where the twins would take you? Alright, I'll hear you out.
You tell him about all the rebels plotting and scheming in Anizote day and night.
There's so much to explain, it takes you a long time to finish. You need Thomas's soldiers to deal with them. You will lead them to the insurgents' hideout, and Thomas will return to the Overseer a hero. Thomas hesitates as he considers your words, but in the end, your old bonds of friendship prevail. Okay, Brante. So be it. Let's see if we can work together to rid the city of this filth. Life is much easier when you have a small army at your disposal. As the days go, you feed victim after victim to the Legion. Unreliable last straw cells. Everyone who has ever let you down or betrayed you. Criminals, rioters, and rebels who refuse to join your ranks. Thanks to you, they are all imprisoned and executed by Thomas's soldiers in a series of raids. As a reward, you manage to recruit a great many Legion soldiers for your spy network. Soldiers are useful, they know things, and they are fervently loyal to the Empire. The more you pursue your victims, however, the harder they fight for their lives. You and Thomas led the next raid together. People begin to flee as soon as they see the Legionnaires. There it is, the nondescript door to the basement. The soldiers ready the battering ram. Smash it open! A hit, another, the hinges break. You head downstairs, it is pitch black. You smell damp walls and unwashed bodies. In the name of Overseer Tempest, I order you to surrender. The younger's righteous trial awaits. The answer is a brief moment of quiet, followed by a desperate rasping voice. Go to the foot of the pillar, you bastards! Get him, boys! Howling, desperate shadows rush you in the dark. The Legion soldiers fall back, but are cut down one by one. Thomas's screen snaps you back to reality. He is still fighting for his life, 1 against 3. Run, Volker! You scramble to the stairs, but several hands latch onto you at once. Your back hits the floor, a muffled scream is the last sound you make. Darkness fills your eyes. Knives sink into your flesh, blood fills your mouth. You almost welcome death when it comes. This was your 4th and final death. You had spent all the time allotted to you by the gods. As you soar towards the shining pillar, you take one last glance down. You see thin, shimmering lines running along the ground. You observe the human fates with which your earthly life was connected. Fates that will now continue their course without you. Your earthly life is over. You leave the world forever, face the judgment of the twins. Okay. How bad did I fuck up? I know I fucked up.
Neither side could overcome the other. The fire of the revolt could not be extinguished. The province, and then the whole empire, fell on troubled times.
Oops. Outcome of a revolt. For years after your death, Anizote continued to simmer like a cookpot over a slow flame. The powerlessness of the simple folk, unable to change the old order, gradually gave way to rage. Finally, this anger became stronger than their age-old submission to the higher estate and their fear of divine retribution. This rage was the spark that lit the fire of the revolt. The rebels took up arms and seized the city for themselves, led from the shadows by the last straw. When the moment of truth came, there was no soul, and Anizote strong-willed enough to spearhead the raging revolt. The opposing factions soon reached a stalemate in which neither side could prevail completely. Anizote refused to surrender, but after a prolonged siege, Gaia's Tempest finally broke the city's defenses, and the Legion entered the rebellious city of Anizote. The insurgents fled, the mobs disappeared from the squares and the streets, the leaders of the revolt were hanged. But the city's capture made even more trouble for the Overseer. The unrest was beaten down, but not suppressed completely. New riots followed one by one, as the common folk, the new faith priests, and many nobles of the mantle continued to wage a desperate struggle against the old authorities. Gaia's Tempest responded to the seething rebellion with more executions and threats. The dissent continued to grow. As the unrest in the city smoldered, the rest of the empire eventually caught wind of the Anizote revolt. Nearby migrant towns and villages saw their first riots soon after. Chaos began to spread across the empire. The empire responded to this enduring turmoil with ruthless action, but even after several villages and towns were drowned in blood, the riots only intensified. The dominance of the emperor and his dynasty began to wane.
Power struggles broke out between the powerful nobles and the capital. Then, a shocking event shook the empire to its core. Emperor Uther II was found dead in his palace, never to be reborn. His heirs Yerian and Flavius both disappeared without a trace. With no one to take the throne, the noble dynasties accused one another of plotting against the Tempest's rules. Feuds and internecine strife became commonplace. And so began an age of anarchy, a time of massacre and riots, conflict, bloodshed, chaos and unrest. There were no winners in this war of all against all, only survivors. The Empire entered a dark and terrible age. And I didn't even become a part of it except dying early. Now that's something I can't necessarily stand. What became of you? You have made your last and most important choice. Was your death worth it? Could you have chosen a different path? Either way, there is no going back. Your fate is sealed. There is no returning from the hereafter. And so you bid farewell to your mortal life. Everything you fought for, everything you strove for, all that is behind you. Now, you are on your way to the Shining Pillar to await the judgment of the twins. You can no longer change the world's destiny, but the choices you made and the deeds you did have left an indelible mark. The world will remember the life and suffering of Volker Brante. True death. The hour of your death has come. Your soul has left your body, never to return. You are taken to the peak of the Shining Pillar. Every moment separates you more and more from the mortal realm. The link that once bound you to it is gone forever. You look up to see two divine visages watching you intently. The elder twin gazes upon you, full of sorrow and compassion. The younger examines you dispassionately, seeing your every act and thought. You have ascended from the mortal realm. From here, you are but one step away from partaking in eternal bliss atop the peak of the Shining Pillar. But first, you must be judged by them, just as every other soul born in this world has been judged since time immemorial. Only their judgment can decide whether you deserve to remain atop the peak or be hurled down to the foot. You stand before the twins. Your very essence is laid bare before them. All the secrets of your inner self revealed in full. Your soul is like an open book to them, one that preserves the story of your entire life. You lie prostrate before the gods. The time has come to take responsibility for your mortal life. And the elder twin asks, are you thankful to the gods for the life you have lived? You staunchly accept everything that happened to you in the world the twins created. Your life was your life. They hear your answer. Compassion and remorse fill the immeasurably deep eyes of the elder twin. He turns to face his divine brother, who returns his gaze with an expression of stem remorse. The elder twin asks once more, what was your life to you? Struggle. I mean, honestly, yes. The elder twin bows his head wearily, considering your response. But then the stern visage of the younger already looms above you. Human by the name of Brante, what did you live for? Well, I tried to live for a cause, but clearly I did not do a good job of it. You yearned to do a great deed that would outlive you. The younger gaze lingers on your bare, defenseless soul. The divine figure continues its stern interrogation. What did you leave behind? Left no mark in the mortal realm. The younger twin now moves toward you with clear intent, poised to render his judgment. But the elder twin restrains his brother with a gesture. A divine voice fills you once again. Did your life make the world we made better and more perfect? It became worse. You left the mortal world a far more terrible place than it was before. The younger twin is silent, his eyes two swords piercing your soul. The elder twin speaks to you again, but you already know the question.
The very same question that caused you so much suffering shortly before your true and final death. What determined your destiny? Destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. It is not governed by laws. The soul of a man named Brante lies prostrate at your feet. Oh, that's my laundry. Lays prostrate at your feet. You have witnessed his entire life, known his every act. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. Got interrupted by, I don't know, some, pest, bait being put on my fridge or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. The soul of a man named Brante lies prostrate at your feet. You have witnessed his entire life, known his every act, seen his every thought and desire. No other soul could ever walk the same path. So many difficult choices, so many emotions, so much pain. Another soul awaits your judgment. You know no mercy, nor does your brother. Every mortal must walk the path chosen for him to the very end. Those who abide by the precepts set forth by you and your brothers shall return to you and become a part of you. Those who reject you shall know the eternal suffering of oblivion. Where does the man named Volker Brante belong? Oh. There's no middle ground I can put him in, honestly, because, I feel like that'd probably be where I'd put this Brante, but also I judge myself. I mean, that last choice. And also the, inciting a riot, spite, I don't know. I mean, he hasn't done that many bad things, in my opinion, but, those bad things were kind of pretty bad. But, I really don't know, honestly. I don't know what I would honestly do. I mean, it's an entire pillar. Why one at the peak and the other at the foot? Why is there no middle ground of the pillar? I mean, it's a shining pillar of light. I'm pretty sure there has to be some sort of middle ground I could put him in, right? You gingerly grasp the fragile soul, lift it up, and turn to face your elder brother. You lift your sword. The brother stands with arms akimbo, ready for the blow. The blade slices through his chest. Blinding light gushes from the gash. You bring the minuscule soul to your brother's chest, and it dissolves in the streams of shimmering luminescence. A tiny fragment of your shared creation is rejoining the whole. The man named Brante is no more. There is only the eternal fount in which he now abides. Interesting. Maybe I should have just put him at the foot just to see how that looks, but oh well. Sever. Oh. Well, isn't that nice now? Well, that's basically the end of this Volker Brante, but this will not be the only life of Volker Brante. There will be others, but yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and wait, or let's see. Gonna quickly check to see, But the last video looks like, how long was that? 25 minutes, and so far we're 5 minutes? Oh, less than 5 minutes, but yeah. Basically, yeah. Oh, hello, Gloria. Well, while this is going, I'm gonna go ahead and refill my water real quick, so, be right back. Alright, there we go. I wonder how long these credits are supposed to last, honestly. Because I have no idea. Anyway, so, actually, I don't know what I was gonna say, so, never mind. Ah, a nice building that's on fire. How nice. Very wonderful. Oh, well, that man's dead. But so is this man. Probably, or he's injured. Most likely. Excuse me. Thank you, dear player, for living through the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Oh, well, you're welcome, but I did die quite a few times, so I guess, in the times of the fall of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Okay, well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and continue a little bit of a different path. We're gonna actually go ahead and go with the same name, and, still gonna disable chapter restarts, and still gonna hide the consequences, because I want to experience it for myself. Hold the fate of a single man in your hands. You'll follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante will grow up to be. You will decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decision will close some doors for him, but open many others. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It is hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you would like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhausted your hero's willpower, or you haven't earned the right position in society. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Accept the tragedy. This is how you will create a gripping and a unique tale for your hero. What will become of your Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you.
The story of my life remains written on these pages. But my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
Your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged. Your hands are shaking, yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you and how did you reach this end? You were born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Arcanian Empire.
In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Archnean, nobleman, priest, or low-born commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods, and each life is not but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital, years of peace teeming with life and a war drenched in blood, high ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle and faces, so many faces of the people you held dear, people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting onto the page. With your every step you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you here, to the end of your time, and every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. But you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world. You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate? Or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? Well, I'm gonna choose the same answer. There is no destiny. Fuck destiny. Stand tall and stare death in the face, unflinching. There was no higher power guiding your life. It was just a wild jig of chaotic tangle of innumerable human wills, actions, and accidents. The only thing that could ever turn this chaos into an orderly narrative is the eternal human drive for storytelling. Your life had no greater meaning. You were neither cursed by fate nor guided by providence, and this is what made you truly free. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you will have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Volker Brante will live once more. Okay, and after this, I'm thinking of maybe starting a new series, but I kind of want to wait a little bit of money, I suppose, a little bit, but yeah. Chapter 1, Childhood. But let's try this again, shall we? Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own. Choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? In chapters Childhood, Adolescence, and Youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You will shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and relationships. By the end of the prologue, we know this. Fencing lesson, beyond, insight, nobleman's sacrament. Determination is spineless, perception inattentive, willpower ready for action, death's untouched by death, and new screens of everything. Let's begin the chapter, shall we, and see what we can do to change it. At first there was nothing. No time, no sensation, nothing but darkness and void. But then, a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory. You were lying on your back, blinded by a bright light. You are not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hands toward you. There are two of them. The ones who made you formed from their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and emphatic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never-ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet there is also a third figure. It is like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within you. A soft open palm, a strong closed fist, a lingering distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. Or do I change this one? I'm gonna just follow the shadow again. Your first smile appears on your face, awkward yet genuine. Your mother and father exchange looks and start talking. You know no words yet, so all you hear is a sequence of booming sounds. But the stranger behind them has no need for words. The stranger's look is all it takes for you to feel the will to live and act that now burns within you. The shadow brings a finger to its lips as if to say, "There, baby. Don't cry. This is our secret now." And then the shadow melts into the light. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breathing and strong cold hands. He visits you rarely. "Hello there, little Volker, Brante." Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. "Ma, you're crying so quickly, my child." There are two more children in the family, named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hand as you learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. "Oh, look, this is your brother and sister." "Yeah, you're my little brother. We're gonna play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner." "Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Volker. Let's go play in the yard." It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright it hurts to look at it. "Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know." "Hey, I want to play hide and seek." "He's just a little baby. How's he gonna play?" "Then you hide him and I'll try to find both of you." You have no idea what they are talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stefan and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to the big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from the light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? You can sit there quietly again. So far this isn't different, but I'm sure there will be differences in this life. Bushes covered with leaves swaying in the wind, you brush them through with your fingers. The twigs and branches are stiff and will not bend. They are different from the blades of grass. Down on the ground you see a group of bugs carrying a little twig. You grab it from them. They're so funny. One of the bugs crawls on your finger and bites it, just enough to sting a little.
You hear brisk steps, then the leaves and twigs rustling and parting. Your mother leans over you. You greet her with a happy face and show her the finger with the bug on it. So that's where they took you. Mother picks you up, puts you to her chest, and pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria's in tears, and Stefan keeps staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Another memory. You are still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house giving orders to the servants throughout the day. The kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother Stefan is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister Gloria. My son, today is the great descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. It's quiet, unusually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. When the twins came down to earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your lot where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze and a smile creeps across her face. You like the rhyme, don't you, Volker? Do you know what it's all about? Look, there are 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You could see the shining pillar any time from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lot as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar. And if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner, too. So, the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard, understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From the light emerges 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder. The other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. What will these words be? Let's see what happens when we sing the last line wrong. Know your lot and know the prayer. Lots of lies told everywhere. Oh. You shout these words, but you have no idea how they came to you. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Now Gloria is staring at you. You see disappointment in her eyes. Volker, that's not the way the song ends. Why did you ruin it? You shrug, quite pleased with your cleverness. I get determination from it. Even though Gloria was not happy about that. You are starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service, but your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you were born a commoner. Your father says you may yet come unto nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with Mother, you read and learn by heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again, you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high, but even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, Father gathers you all in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon you'll be an older brother too, and it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be. A boy or a girl, you will love them the most. When Father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting, and Father approves of your fascination. Study hard, and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first you need to grow up. Growing up, the concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You're both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stefan, Volker? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. Mother shusses you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do. You demand that Mother explain why things are like this. But you demand an explanation this time. You start asking questions. Why were you born a commoner if your father is a noble? If you have your father's name, why can't you have his lot? Why can't you choose a lot for yourself if you don't like the one you have? Mother is stunned by all the questions you are peppering her with. Don't you dare ask me about that, Volker. I'll violate my lot if I start explaining it all to you. I'm a commoner, not a priest. You are flogged in front of your entire family. Pain burns on your skin. Again and again. Tears keep rolling down your cheeks. Feels like the punishment will never end. It hurts to walk when you are finally let go. You slowly climb the stairs and walk to your room. You see a book on your bed. The Teachings of Asatius, Volume 2. Your tears have dried now. You begin to read, slowly making your way through the difficult words. Every death of the body bringeth the soul ever closer to the twins' judgment. When the body dieth a true death, the soul soareth to the shining pillar. The twin gods do judge every soul, and their judgment is stern and unforgiving. He who follow his sloth in time from birth shall melt into bliss atop the peak of the shining pillar. The words confuse and elude you, instilling fear and awe. You will read this mysterious book again and again as you grow up. I'm curious now. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day, she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hand and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You'll have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey Volker, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mama hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great. Says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall to the ground. See? I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She is holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mom. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not a little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny, and I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble. But that is not our fate, and you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting it again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander in this scene, unsure of how to act. I'm going to make the same decision I made last time and offer to write rhymes with her. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You hug your sister and whisper to her. Let's go to the library, you say. The two of you can hide under the table and write something together. Gloria shakes her head violently. Mother said no, and there is no way she would ever defy her. You reassure her that it will be your secret. You pull Gloria to the library. She fights you, but you refuse to relent. You carefully peek inside. Your sister takes a small book from one of the shelves, and you read it together, under the table. It's a book of poetry about eternal love. Gloria clearly adores it. You decide to write a poem of your own. She recites a line in an ecstatic voice, and you repeat it after her, and offer a rhyme of your own. She nods happily. You do this until the day ends. You've written a poem of your own and learned it by heart, but not a single line of it has been committed to paper, which means that you stay true to your mother's rule. Okay, I'm gonna do it a little bit. I'm actually probably gonna have to end it here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Give that like button a stab if you did. Subscribe if you want more death in your life. Be sure the bell is tolling for thee. And until next time, rest in peace. Bye! Enjoyed today's video? Well, there's plenty more for you to enjoy here. And if you also want to support this small channel, then there is also my Ko-fi, which is available, as well as a Twitter thread that gives you my commissioning info. And if you'd like some traditional art or literature, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Thank you for enjoying the video and for your viewership.